Good afternoon, you guys, and welcome in here to the Hot Corner on this Wednesday. This is your host, Mike Wolfgang, and I hope you guys are all having fantastic days wherever you may be across this great land of ours. As for today, I've got some scores from yesterday's games, a couple of headlines to talk about over the last 24 hours, and there are some notable pitching matchups tonight, as well as overall team matchups to look forward to. But we're going to start things off with today's show, as we normally do on the Hot Corner, with scores from the previous day. Leading off with the Yankees and Red Sox. They played a doubleheader yesterday in the Bronx, with the Yankees winning Game 1 5-3 and Game 2 2-0. The Yankees now own a playoff spot for the first time since late May, and it is the first time the Yankees have been in front of Boston in the standings since April 6th. Washington beat Toronto 12-6. The Cubs beat the Reds 2-1. Atlanta took their matchup with the Marlins 2-0. Tampa Bay crushed Baltimore last night 10-0 in a shutout. The Angels won 8-2 over the Tigers in Detroit. Milwaukee continues to play well within the division, beating St. Louis 2-0 yesterday. Seattle beat Texas 3-1. Chicago hung 9 runs on the Athletics last night in a 9-0 shutout win at home. Kansas City beat the Astros 3-1. Cleveland beat the Twins 3-1. Colorado beat the Padres for the second straight day, winning that one last night 7-3. Arizona beat Philadelphia 3-2. The struggles for the New York Mets continue as they lost to the Giants last night 3-2, dropping their record to 59-60 and 4.5 out of the division lead in the NL East. And lastly, the Dodgers beat Pittsburgh last night 4-3, making that 15 consecutive wins for the Dodgers over the Pirates. Moving on to some other news, starting off with some unfortunate news last night, actually. Oakland Athletics ace Chris Bassitt, who is having an incredible season, was carted off the field early in last night's game with the Chicago White Sox after being struck in the head by a line drive. The ball came off the bat of White Sox center fielder Brian Goodwin at 100.1 miles per hour. Goodwin then later put out a tweet after the game saying, "Chris, you are in my prayers for sure, brother." After the game, manager Bob Melvin said that Bassitt never lost consciousness, and more information will be provided in the next day or so on that injury. So prayers go out to Bassitt and his family, and hopefully he will bounce back for the A's as they continue to push forward toward the postseason. Some other news: Major League Baseball announced yesterday that the Field of Dreams game next season will feature the Chicago Cubs and Cincinnati Reds, little NL Central matchup. Speaking of the NL Central, the Milwaukee Brewers signed former Rocky David Dahl to a minor league contract, so we'll see how that plays out for them. And lastly, former Pittsburgh Pirate all-star closer Felipe Vasquez was sentenced yesterday to 2 to 4 years in prison for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl. We all remember this case from a few years ago, and now Vasquez is sentenced. His sentence is now officially set in stone. As for tonight, we mentioned there are some great pitching matchups. Tonight's games are going to be the same as yesterday, so the matchups will be the same. Looking at the pitching matchups, Jake Arrieta will make his San Diego Padre debut tonight against the Rockies. Shohei Ohtani will be on the hill tonight for the Angels against Detroit. It's always good to see him on the mound. Freddie Peralta will get the ball tonight for the Brew Crew as they will face off against Jack Flaherty of the Cardinals. Both guys have 9 wins on the seasons and spot ERAs below 3. Cole Irvin of the A's and Lance Lynn of the White Sox will go at it, and Zach Greinke and Brady Singer could be a good one as well between those two teams. That's going to be it for today. As I close out most of these shows, let this be your daily reminder to check out Alec Cabrera's daily sports show called The Casual Sports Report. And make sure to tune into the Casual Sports podcast hosted by Alec, Matt Morrison, and yours truly, as it is scheduled to return August 30th. That's going to be a wrap for today's episode, you guys. As always, make sure to watch some baseball tonight, as there are some great matchups and great pitching matchups as well to keep an eye on. But for right now, this is Mike Wolfgang closing things out for today. We'll see you guys next time here on the Hot Corner. Thanks for listening.